Hello Perth fitness professionals, Dan Williams here from Range of Motion Business Mentoring. Guys, I realize that some of you will be watching this live. For those of you who are, I'm going to give you guys a minute to jump on the feed, but I know that most of you will be watching this on delay. So if you are, bear with us for a moment as we wait for some people to jump on the live feed here. Guys, let me give you a basic overview as we're waiting as to what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about social media, and in particular, we are talking about how to automate the process of posting to social media, how to build some systems. Hi Trish, hi Matt, thanks for joining us, guys. So guys, as we go today, talking about how to automate the process of social media, how to leverage different types of content to be able to maximize your social media game. Hi Chris, thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about how to know what to create content on and then how to transfer that to different forms of content. We'll be talking about how to then use software or some sort of systems-based technology to go more hands-off with the posting onto social media. Now guys, as we go, please do chuck in any questions you have. I will do my best to either answer questions as we go, or I will go through after we finished if you guys aren't watching this on the live feed, and I can answer some of your questions and stuff then. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Firstly, what I'd like you to do, whether you're watching this live or on delay, chuck down in comments below for me how many times per week you post onto social media. Hi Brad, thanks for joining us. Cecilia, hi, good to see you. So guys, chuck in comments below how many times a week you post onto social media. Maybe this is a Facebook post, maybe it's a Facebook Live, maybe it's an Instagram post. Chuck that down below just so I can get an idea of how often and how frequently you guys are posting, and then we can talk about maybe what your optimal numbers will be specific to you. 7 to 10 for Brad, thanks for that Brad. Any others, guys, chuck them below in comments. So let's first talk about the ways that you can be posting to social media, and there are 4 sort of main things that I want to talk about today, and then the 4th is where we're going to be spending most of our time. Hi Cherie, thanks for joining us. So the first main form of social media that we can be posting is some sort of documentation. Now this is basically where you're giving outside potential clients a bit of a look through the window into what's happening in your business. Now, you guys know that reality TV is huge. People love reality TV because they love that sort of almost like a voyeuristic, what's happening in here, what's going on. People love being a fly on the wall. So a really good form of social media, and this is really, things like Facebook Live, Insta Live are really conducive to this, giving people a glimpse into what's happening in your business. Very simple. Show people who match your avatar, solving the pain points that those avatars have, having a good time. If you do those 3 things, people matching the avatar of the people that you want to attract to your business, solving the problems that commonly that avatar has, and they're having fun, having a good time doing it, that's how you should be documenting. Hi Renee, thanks for joining us. So guys, that is how you will give a glimpse and overview and how you would use some form of documentation into what's happening in your business. Hi Edgar, thanks for jumping on, mate. The second is you leveraging client content. Now this is really important because the strongest form of currency you have is this social currency. If your clients post, maybe they've done a PB, maybe they've lost some body fat, they chuck a post up on Insta or Facebook, you share this. It is ready-made content for you. All you got to do is hit the share or the repost button. So leveraging client content is a great strategy. It's the strongest form of testimonial you can have. You can chuck a testimonial up on your social media, of course, in its own right, but if it's something that's been posted and therefore shared by you, it's going to have a lot more social currency. The third is paid ads. This is something that I've spoken about before. If you're interested in any of my resources on paid advertising, please let me know. Just chuck a comment below and I will make sure that I drop you a link with either a podcast episode or an article that you can have a read where I go through all of that stuff. And finally, and this is the one I want to talk about most today, is content marketing, some sort of outbound marketing. And this is where you are basically providing value to your potential clients, solving the problems of your potential clients to become a thought leader, to become an authority. So we're going to go into this a little bit more as we go. Hi, Belle. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for joining us. So let's talk about how we can systemize this, because in the end, you wear a lot of hats as a business person. Maybe you're the personal trainer and the group fitness instructor and the cleaner, the accountant, the social media marketing manager, the sales manager, the culture consultant. Heaps of hats. There are a lot of things you do. So let's try and automate as many of these as we can. Today, let's talk about automating the job of the social media marketing manager. So when I work with my business mentoring clients in trying to systemize any processes in their business, there are 5 questions we have to ask. The first question is, can we eliminate this? And that would be the priority. If there's something happening in your business that you can remove, that is no longer needed, absolutely do that. Running a good business is about efficiency, and efficiency is not about seeing how much more you can do before you start to break down mentally. It's about seeing how much you can take away from your task list before your business begins to suffer. So, first question, can you eliminate a task, a job, a role in your business? The second is, can you do a one-time setup? Can you set something up, set it and forget it, then it's done, you never have to deal with it again. This is great because although it takes a little bit of time in the short term, it takes 0 time in the long term. Now we start to get more to the systemization. The next question is, can we systemize and automate something? This is where we build a system. Once that system, that checklist, that process is created, you basically hit the big red button and it runs on autopilot. And that's what we're going to do with social media today. I'm going to teach you how to create a system and then automate that. Now, incidentally, the next 2 questions we would ask, can you systemize and recurring schedule, which is where you create a system, but it's something that you physically have to do. Maybe you physically have to send a follow-up email to your clients after each session to see how they're feeling, to see how they're going. You can have an email template in place, you can have things pre-written, but in the end, you have to action that behavior every time. And finally, can you delegate? And this is further down the list because often a delegation means some sort of financial outlay from you. You're sacrificing some of your resources. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be delegating. You absolutely should. But make sure when you're delegating, you've asked yourselves these other questions first. So we're going to talk about how to systemize and automate, how to create a system around content creation where you can just press the button and then it will run on autopilot, on cruise control effectively forever. Let's talk about what you should be creating content on. And I've sort of teased or alluded to this a little bit already. How do you know what content to put out there? It's very simple, and it begins with the end in mind. It begins with your end client in mind. You need to know your avatar. You need to know who it is that you are uniquely positioned to help. And the most important part of identifying your avatar is identifying their pain points. What are the things that your avatar struggles with? What's keeping them up at night? What's stopping them from improving their health? And to establish what product you're going to be providing, what experience you're providing to your clients, you need to look at the problems that they are facing. You need to look at the things that you are uniquely good at, that you're uniquely positioned to help them with. Find out where those 2 circles overlap, and that area in the middle there is where you build your business. You build your business around where the pain points of your clients overlap with your unique skills, your unique selling proposition. So that's what you build your business around, and that's also what you create content around. So let's say that something stopping people from getting healthier and coming into your facility or from taking on your services. Hi KP, hi Louise, thanks for joining us guys. Maybe the thing that's stopping people from taking on your services is the fact that they're intimidated about going into a new exercise environment. You would therefore create a piece of content with the title like, are you scared to start a new exercise program? Then you go in and you solve their pain points. Maybe the pain point of your client is that they're overwhelmed because there is just so much information on exercise and nutrition out there. Maybe the title of your blog or video would be, are you overloaded with all the information on what exercise program to do? Or something like that. So you're solving the pain points of your clients. Now, what this is going to do is position you as a thought leader. It's going to position you as a thought leader, as an expert in your field. You become the go-to person to solve these problems. And if you've correctly identified what the pain points of your clients, of your potential clients, of your avatar are, you've identified these pain points, you're then able to say, I know what the problems are. Here is me helping you, answering your questions, solving these problems. you become known as the authority figure, the thought leader in this space. And if you keep putting out content solving the pain points of your clients, then you're going to get a consistent client base coming in because you are the person who understands them. You are the person who can solve their problems. Now, this of course is a long-term marketing strategy. It's not a short-term tactic. It's not a free 2 weeks or 6-week challenge or 50% off this week or sign up and bring a friend and your friend's half price. These are long-term strategies. Long-term strategies give long-term results. Building this reputation, building your brand takes a long time. You have to be patient with it, but it will build a very successful, a very dependable long-term business. So this content marketing strategy is great as a long-term strategy. And I believe at least that long-term strategies are what you should focus your business around. So you create content on the pain points that your clients have. There are 2 ways that we can create content. And you're probably going to have to do both of these unless you've already developed a lot of content previously. We can have batched content, and then we can have a weekly content creation. So you batching content is when you say, right, I'm going to do the avatar exercise. And incidentally, guys, if you don't know how to really drill down and identify your avatar, just post below and say, send me the avatar information. And I'll post a link there for you to have a look at, which takes you through that really detailed exercise. As soon as you've done that avatar exercise, you've identified the pain points of your clients, you then start creating content. Now, if you're doing this exercise, you have maybe 3 avatars, 3 sort of target demographics that you're working with. You can come up with 20 pain points for each one. 3 avatars, 20 pain points, 60 different topics. These are 60 different topics that you can talk about. And you spend a week, 2 weeks, a month just churning through this, creating valuable, high quality content, be it video or written form or audio. And I'm going to talk about these different options in a moment and how we can leverage one to become the other, how we can get a bit of arbitrage there. We're going to talk about how to do that. But as soon as you can batch that content and just create this critical mass of information that you can just then start distributing onto social media. And again, we'll talk about how that distribution happens. Hi, Danny. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Chad. Good to see you, mate. So that first option is batched content. And this is something that probably a lot of you are going to need to do if you don't have a consistent content creation strategy at the moment. Give up a couple of weeks. Over summer, over Christmas is a great option when everyone else is sort of resting on their laurels. You push forward. Opportunity for you to become a thought leader in a very short amount of time. The second way to do this, and everyone should be doing this, even if you have done the batch content, even if you don't need to because you've got a lot of content behind you, but that would be a weekly content creation session where you're just creating one new piece of content to solve one new pain point, one new topic, maybe something that people have asked you during the week that's a common question that people have. And again, you can then leverage this, which we're going to talk about as we go. Now, it's important with your content that it's evergreen. And basically that means it will always be relevant, or it'll at least be relevant as seasons change. It's going to be relevant in a couple of years' time because we're going to be redistributing a lot of this content. So if you're creating a piece of content and the title is the top 7 ways to stay healthy over Christmas, that's possibly not evergreen content. It may be good as a one-off, but it's not something that we're going to schedule and have on some sort of recurring cycle. By the same token, let's say that your business, I work with a few businesses in sports performance, so maybe you're working with AFL footy players. Ryan and the team from Luda Sports Performance are doing some amazing work in this space. Let's say that you're working with footy players and you want to put out a piece of content and you film it, beautiful sunny day, you're wearing a singlet in the sun on the footy oval, middle of summer, but then this content gets posted in the middle of winter. It's not going to come across as genuine. So make sure this content is evergreen, not only in the content that you're putting out, the style of content, but also how it's filmed. This is important when you're doing this batched content creation in particular, that it is evergreen. So what I'd like to ask, guys, before we just get into this next section where I talk about how to leverage one form of content to become another form of content, I would like to know what your preferred method of content creation is. What are you most comfortable with? And what I'll do, if you comment this below, I can then open a dialogue with you after we finish today or after you've finished watching this on delay, and we can talk about how you can best leverage that. So maybe you prefer to do video. It's easy, you're happy and you're confident in front of the camera. You're happy just to go Facebook Live and just talk and freestyle and see what happens. Maybe that's not your style. Maybe you don't have the confidence to do that, but you write really well. Maybe you love writing Facebook posts and blogs. Maybe that is your preferred form of content. So whatever it is, guys, post that in comments below for me. Let me know if you're a writer, if you're a video person, or maybe you like audio or some other medium like Insta stories where you can get across a message in a different way. Chuck that below, guys, and as I go through over the next few days, as people get a chance to watch this on delay, we can open a bit of a dialogue to see how we can help you out there. So let's talk about how we can leverage this. Now, what do I mean by leveraging content? Well, this is where you basically take what I'm going to call a content topic. So maybe the content topic is, I get intimidated walking into a new gym. There's your topic. That's something that you can create content on. Now, leveraging it is writing a blog, but then turning that into a podcast or a video or a short form video for Instagram or an article for on Facebook, an article for on some third-party platform like LinkedIn or like Medium. Leveraging is where you take one content topic and leverage a whole bunch of different types of content, a whole bunch of different mediums from that. Hi Ben, thanks for joining us, mate. So talking about how to leverage your content. Now, if you are the sort of person who likes to write, if you're a writer and that's where you get your information from, what you want to do is start with that. If you feel like you are most comfortable delivering a message through a blog, through a mini essay, through a written piece of content. Hey Curbs, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. If that's what you're comfortable with, guys, you're comfortable with creating written content, that's where you begin. If you're more comfortable in front of the camera doing a video like this, that's where you'll begin. You'll start off by creating that initial piece of content in the medium with which you are most familiar. Now let's talk about how to leverage that. So let's pretend that you start off creating a video. You create what I would call a long form video, which would be 5 to 10 minutes. That long form video that you create, you can then do multiple things with it. Firstly, you can take it to a service like rev.com that does transcriptions. Take it to rev.com, drop the URL or upload the video into that piece of software, and for $1 per minute, they will transcribe everything that you've said in that video. If you've got a 5-minute video, $5. It's going to take them an hour at most. The quality is really good. There's very high accuracy there. The AI is really advanced. And you will get a transcription, which basically then becomes a blog. It becomes a long form article. You may need to go through and just take out any ums or ahs or other sort of ticks in your speech. You may need to change your formatting a little bit if you need, but it's a very efficient way to leverage content. Now, while you're there in rev.com, for no extra cost, you can request an Srt file. Now, like a JPEG or a PNG is an image file, an Srt file is the file type that you can use for captions. So you've created this long form video, you've taken it to Rev, you've got all the text out of it, which can then become some sort of written content. You then get that Srt file. So when you upload that video into YouTube, which is another medium we can then use, you can upload the Srt file. You can also do this when you're uploading the video to Facebook. You upload the Srt file. Quick technical note, if you are looking to upload to Facebook, when you select the file type that you want to be able to download within rev.com, you want to select Facebook Ready SRT. There's a slight change in the format of the naming convention of that file, so you can upload it to Facebook. So you've created your video. You've now got some text out of it. That text is going to become an article for you on LinkedIn. It's going to become a long form piece of written content for you on Facebook. It's also going to be a blog, which is going to live on your website. All of these are different types of content, which in a moment we'll talk about how to leverage and recycle and automate the distribution of. So from that long form video, now of course, if you've written the text first, if you're more of a writing person, you can do the text first and then take some key notes from that and then talk about that on camera to create your video. So you can leverage text from video, video from text. If you're doing that, guys, a really good hint or trick on this, two options for you. Firstly, you can write on the back of like a post-it note, like a sticky note, the 5 key points from the text that you've written, the article you've written, and basically stick that on the back of your phone. So as you're looking at your phone, just above screen there, you can read what you're going to be talking about. The other option, and this works really well and looks quite professional, is you can have your notes there in the article that you've written. You can have your camera there ready to film. You can check your notes, see what you're going to talk about, the importance of building muscle. Okay, I know what my first topic is. Then you look back at your camera, give it a second, obviously hit record, so this is recording as a video, and speak. Blah, 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 blah. These are the benefits of building muscle for long-term increasing metabolism, whatever you want to talk about. Once you've finished that sentence or two, stop. Keep looking at the camera for a moment and then check your notes, see what the next thing is. And basically you keep doing that. Then when you go to edit this video, all you do is you cut out those pauses in between. So it's a nice, sharp, quick cutting, which comes across as quite good for people who have relatively short attention spans these days. Very short, sharp little bites of information. You edit out where you're looking so it looks like you're just talking to the camera the whole time. Okay, just a little trick, can be a good way to create video if you're not confident in front of the video, because it is an important medium that you should be using. So start with either written or video content. You're going to leverage that. You have your video, you have your written. You can then take that long form video, which is now going to live on YouTube. It's going to be automated in the posting to Facebook. I'll talk to you in a moment about how to do that. You can then also take that long form video and put it down into short form video. Two ways we can do this. Now, short form is what I'm calling 60 seconds or less, which is going to be great for the Instagram feed. Obviously, 60 seconds is your limit there. Incidentally, long form video, Instagram TV as well. But if you're doing that, make sure that you're either happy that it's going to be turned side on. IGTV now is pretty good at rotating that, and the preview that you share to your IG feed is normally going to be auto-rotated. But if you are going to post it vertically, make sure when you film the video, you are in the center. So you can see me looking at the screen now. If I'm talking to you from here, the center third is what IGTV is going to take. I'm not going to be in it. So I'd want to make sure that I was right in the middle of the frame here if I was going to be filming this for IGTV. I'm not, so I'm a third of the way across. Okay, so if you're creating, you have your long form, you want to take it down now to short form. Two ways to do it. Firstly, you can just go through and get all the key points. So let's say that I'm going to say to you, here are 2 ways that you can do X, Y, Z. I can then just have a quick soundbite of the first strategy, quick soundbite of the second strategy. And I can take what is a 5 to 10 minute video, condense it down into a bite-sized 60 seconds. The other way you can do it is, let's say you have a 10-minute video and you have maybe 3 or 4 main themes you've talked about, just edit it down to little bites of information. So from one content creation strategy, from that 5 or 10 minute long form video, you have multiple forms of short form video that you can take away. These can then be posted to Instagram. And of course, you can add captions to these. You can use one of those services or do it yourself where you have a title up the top, you have some captions running down the bottom. And of course, you get those captions from rev.com, as we talked about with the long form video stuff. Of course, this can also be leveraged as a podcast episode. So what I can do with the audio that I'm recording from me talking to you now, I can take that audio. So basically you just have your video there sitting on your computer, on your laptop, and you go save as audio only. Those of you who are Mac users, you can just do that through QuickTime Player, save as audio, it saves it. If you're interested in more stuff about podcasting, guys, let me know and we can do a big session on that as well. I can run a webinar on how to set up and publish a podcast. So I won't go into the details of that now, but then you basically extract the audio. You have an audio file, an MP3 file, which would be the audio version. So another form of content that you can have there, you can have that living on your website, and another way that we can leverage that content. So all of this stuff you can be doing on that content creation day. Remember, you're batching a whole bunch of content up front, created enough to get a critical mass. Then what you want to do is every week, maybe on a Friday, which is what I'll quite often do, on a Friday morning, I've got a note on my task manager which tells me that I need to create a piece of content. So creating a piece of content, for example, today, the content that I am creating for Range of Motion Business Mentoring is a blog called How to Future-Proof Your Fitness Business. I'll be creating that blog today. I'll be writing that. I'll then be doing a video version. I'll be doing an audio version, etc., which will be distributed through my various channels. So all of this content then you have sitting there, you've batched it, you're creating an extra little piece of content every Friday. You're doing it once a week where you answer a question based on a pain point of your potential clients. You write the article, you do the audio, you do the video, and you have those short form videos. So you can get this down to about an hour. So you can do an hour of content creation a week and you can be posting scores of times over the space of that week based on that and the content that you've batched. Let's talk about how to automate the posting of this. So there are lots of different third-party tools, apps, programs you can use for this. I use one called Edgar, and this is at meetedgar.com. The reason I choose this over some of the other options is that Edgar allows you to recycle your content. Again, if it's evergreen, as we talked about, you can recycle your content and get long-term posting and sharing of this. Now, I'm going to give you a basic overview of how this works. Again, it's an amazing strategy. It's been an amazing tool for me over several years, which really does help to get the information out there and to position yourself as a thought leader, as an expert in your field, as an authority, which is what we're all trying to do. So you basically go into the software, and other pieces of software work in a similar way, and you create a series of, let's call them buckets. So this bucket is called blogs about general health. This bucket is called podcast episodes on sporting performance. Maybe this bucket is called client testimonials. I've got a bucket over here that's called technique tips. So a whole bunch of different buckets. Now, within the sort of Range of Motion ecosystem, and this is across our exercise facility, our business mentoring as we're doing now, our nutrition coaching, our online programming, our clinic-based work, our corporate-based work, all these different areas, I would have somewhere in the region of 60 to 70 different buckets, 60 to 70 different types of content that I can then drop information into. So you've got all these different buckets, different categories of info. What I'm then going to do is take each blog I've written on general health and fitness, for example, and drop it into the general health and fitness bucket. So just by creating a new piece of content, you drop the URL into the software, it pulls through the preview, you can write a little bit of text in there, etc. All of the testimonials, I'm going to drop into the testimonial bucket. So we now have all of these buckets full of content that is solving the pain points of your avatars, and you can have some more direct marketing stuff in there as well if you want that to be recurringly posted. These buckets are full. You then go into a calendar view, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you can select which bucket you want a post to be taken out of at different times. 8 a.m. on Monday, I want a blog to be posted from the general health and fitness bucket. So the software takes that, it drops it onto social media. Now I can choose to have that go onto a Facebook page, onto my private Facebook wall. I can choose for that to be posted into a Facebook group, like the group that you guys are watching this through now. I can have it posted to Instagram. I can have it going to LinkedIn, a whole bunch of different places you can send that content and information. So you have this calendar view. 8 a.m. Monday, I want this to go out. 12:30 on Monday, I want a client testimonial to be distributed. All the way through the week. Again, I have lots and lots and lots of different information and different posts that are coming out every week based on the different facets of our business and the pain points of our avatars, which again are different for each of those facets of the business. Over the weeks, as you go, and remember there's a good amount of information, that critical mass of information, because you've batched all that content creation up front. Once you get to that point where the bucket is empty, what the software does is then refills it and starts again. Now that's why I really love this particular piece of software, meetedgar.com, because Edgar will refresh that once you finish and start posting again. If you create enough content, people aren't going to say, he's posting the article on how to overcome intimidation going into a new exercise environment again. Because remember, most of the time, people are only going to see 10% of what you post. Of course, it depends on the engagement of the post, which I'm going to touch on in a moment, but people aren't going to see a lot. So let's say that you have 100 pieces of content and you post 2 every day. there's 50 days of content that you've created. Those 50 days of content, if you've got only 10% of people seeing each piece of content, that's going to last you 500 days before something starts getting repeated. So you've got a year and a half of content before people go, oh, hang on, no, he posted this 500 days ago. Why is he reposting it? It's not going to happen. So it's okay if you have enough content in there in the first place to be recycling this. So this is the strategy I use to basically allow myself to take all this content, to leverage it to different forms. I will then be posting YouTube videos into this software. I'll be uploading native Facebook videos with the captions, text, links to your website, links to the blogs on your website, links to podcasts. All of this content that I've talked about how to leverage today can be dropped into this software. Now, as with any social media, if you're just dropping stuff on social media with no action again on your behalf, what's going to happen is the Facebook algorithms are going to punish you. It's not going to be shown to many people. This becomes a very ineffective marketing strategy. So you have to back this up with actually commenting. If people comment, if people like, follow up with them, start a conversation. Because if conversations start to happen, the Facebook algorithms like that, it'll push it up people's feeds. It will show it to more eyes. If that happens, you get this sort of positive feedback loop, this self-fulfilling prophecy where good content breeds more good content, breeds interaction, breeds more interaction, breeds more visibility of you to your potential clients. All right, so basically, guys, that is my strategy. Let me simplify and summarize that for you. Identify the pain points of your avatars. Based on their pain points, create a piece of content, a content topic. Leverage that to multiple different forms of media. Then use some sort of automation software with a calendar view to be able to automate the distribution of that. Guys, if you would like any more information on any of this, please let me know. If you're interested in the work we do at Range of Motion, you can head to our website to learn more about what we do, rangeofmotion.net.au. There are links there to our business mentoring. If you're interested in that, guys, you'd like to grow your business heading into 2020, I do have some spaces available for people who are just looking to turbocharge and maybe take things to the next level. Maybe you've been treading water for a little bit. 2020 is the year to step things up. Happy to help, guys, if I can. Anything that I've talked about today, if you'd like any more information on any of it, let me know and I'll post some links and extra resources for you. Guys, I hope this has been of benefit. If you have any questions, please post them below. Happy to open a dialogue with you guys or send me a private message or an email, dan@rangeofmotion.net.au. Those of you who joined us live, thank you very much. Those of you who watch this on delay, thank you very much. Guys, I hope there was some benefit in this for you, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. All right, that's a lot, guys. Have a great weekend. I hope this was valuable, and I'll see you soon.